the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We are here for the second reading of the budget today.
Yes, sir, we are, and I have
Turn it over to
a
Madam
statement
Superintendent.
to read. In accordance with Section 200.065 and Chapters 1010 and 1011 Florida statutes, I have submitted the tentative balanced budget for the 2015-2016 school year, and I recommend the millage to be levied. On July 21st, 2015, you approved the tentative budget and millage for advertising. The purpose of today's public hearing is to approve the 2015-2016 proposed tentative budget and proposed millage rate, and to set the date, time, and place of the final public hearing on our budget.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Odom?
Yes, sir. Now, as mentioned, we are here today to present, discuss, and adopt the tentative millage rates and the tentative budgets for the 2015-16 school year. And you've each got a packet of handouts. It was online, plus I brought some extra copies if anybody needs any. The first thing that we are required to do in order to be in compliance with Florida Truth and Millage, which is the TRIM guidelines, I have to first discuss the rollback rate. A little bit more, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say in the microphone a little better.
All right, and that the first document we have is a 3-page rollback rate, and what the rollback rate is the millage rate that it would take to bring into the district the same amount of tax revenue as we received last year. It's applied to the current year tax base, and it doesn't take into account new construction or anything like that to try to be sure that we're comparing, you know, same things together. That rollback rate is 7.3509 mills. Our proposed millage of 6.924 mills will bring in only 94.19% of the tax revenues that we received last year. Our proposed millage rate is 5.81% less than that rollback rate. On page 2 of the millage handout, you'll note that our millage rate is decreasing 0.28 mills, and that is all in the required local effort area. Each school board participating in the state allocation of funds through the FEFP for the current operation of schools must levy this amount. The legislature sets the amount of the required local effort, and each district's share of the state total required local effort is determined by a statutory formula that is initiated by the certification of the property tax valuations of each district, and the Department of Revenue handles that certification. Now, looking at page 3 of the millage handouts, if you want to know how it'll affect the people of Putnam County, if all things remain the same and a person's appraised value of their home remain the same as last year, there's a chart that would show how much their taxes will decrease because we are implementing a lower millage. I know some of the other taxing authorities have raised their millage rates. We are lowering again. And so for their school district portion, they'll see a decrease. I always use the $100,000 one as the baseline. And with their $25,000 homestead exemption, there would be a taxable value of $75,000, and they would actually pay $21 less in property taxes this year than they would have last year. Moving forward, the next handout, I just wanted to provide you with comparison of property tax values, millages, and district revenue. And that's what it says across the top if you're trying to keep up with me or anything. This shows a decline in Putnam's property tax base and a decline in millage rates and revenue generated from 2009-10 through the current budget year. Our property base has declined from $4.2 billion in 2009-10 to $3.6 billion currently. Our millage rate has also declined by 0.889 mills from a high of 7.813 to 6.924 now. And our property tax revenue has declined over $7 million, as you see. Going to the next handout, it's called Analysis of Capital Dollars Available to Putnam. You can see the decline from 2007-8 through 2015-16. That's this handout.
I'm big, and I thought I had them in order.
Nikki, you could show Jane if you need to.
In the current budget year, the tax base went up slightly, so we are projected at more capital dollars this year than last year by a little over $11,000. Really not enough to talk about, but hey, at least it's an increase. Last year, we did receive PICO special maintenance dollars of $213,890. We will receive some PICO maintenance dollars this year, but the amount has not yet been determined, so that'll make the picture look a little bit better too when we get those dollars. Your next handout would be the notice of tax for school capital outlay. This notice was in Saturday's paper. We are required to advertise how we plan to spend the 1.5 mils for capital outlay purposes. We do not have to spend on everything that is listed here. It's just a plan. However, we cannot spend on anything that is not on the list. Trim guideline specifies the categories that and language that can appear on this advertisement. And if once they check it over after we send all of our ads in, if they find we've got a word wrong, they require you to resubmit it in the paper and have another public hearing. So we usually, spend a good bit of time on this and often send it to them to have them to look it over before we actually publish it in the paper. You want to pass those down, just in case they want them. A couple of them looked a little lost there. The next handout is the capital projects millage budget. I know a lot of people want to know what we're going to do with the $5.2 million that we bring in. And after we fund the maintenance department, which is allowed by statute, and we always give the schools some discretionary funds if they want to buy computers, do a little bit of remodeling, buy furniture, fixtures, equipment. We give them $400,000, and it's based on the size, the square footage of their school and the age of their school. We do some aging factors in there. And then we are allowed the millage flexibility for a portion of our property insurance, and the amount comes to up to $100 per FTE, but it's only for certain categories. We spend over $1.9 million for property insurance in the district, but a lot of the categories within that 1.9 aren't allowable for this flexibility, so our max is $586,659.
Rhonda, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time we had an insurance review of our facilities?
An insurance review?
Of our facilities.
I think Deborah Shepard would probably have to answer that. She handles our risk management, and we get all of our insurance through NEFAC,
Right.
and then Arthur Gallagher. So I know I have to fill out the forms for Deborah every year. She sends it, and I have to answer questions on how many school buses we have, if we've opened any pools or any new facilities or anything like that. But as far as them coming and actually doing a physical walkthrough, I'm not sure.
They usually base it on square footage and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I'll talk to her.
Okay, I get a small package every year that she gives me the financial portion of it and everything, and, school buses, things like that I have to fill out.
I'll talk to her next week. Thank you.
Okay. We also have to fund, a couple of years ago, we did the master purchase agreement for 17 buses, so we're allowed by statute to also pay for that, so that's $351,344.46. After all that is said and done, that leaves $587,000 of that $5 million that is then turned over to the maintenance facilities department to do any type of needs that might be, that come up in the schools or the district. The next handout will be the budget summary ad. It's the one-page entire budget that was also in the paper. It's a compression of our budget summarized by the funds and revenue source and expenditure function. The detailed budget is actually right there in that white notebook, line by line, cost center by cost center. And it will reside, I guess, in Pam, in your office for a while, in case y'all want to look it over, or I can print out more copies. You can all have your own if you would like. We used to bring, we would bring 10 copies, every board member, the attorney, the newspaper, but you see who comes to these meetings and everything, so we quit going to the trouble of making so many.
And
That's
they moved
correct.
more chairs in, too. I'm kidding.
From this document, I think I mentioned it at our advertisement meeting, but I want to call attention to 2 items. You'll see in the first column under general fund, because that's the one I want to talk about, you'll see that our fund balance on June 30th, our ending fund balance becomes your beginning fund balance for the new year, was $5,474,885.72. And after everything that we've got built into the budget, we're estimating that the year-end fund balance will be $3,637,139.58. It always comes in more than that after the rolls and everything, because I looked at last year's document, and we had estimated about $3.8 million, and we ended up with $5.4 million. So
You've always done a tremendous job, you and the staff,
Thank
of
you.
keeping it like that so that we're usually pleasantly surprised.
Thank you. I provided you a handout that explained those 2 figures. The $5.4 million is broken down into a few categories. Some of them have strings attached, like the reserve for project balances. That's different state and local projects that are within the general fund, and the money has strings, and so we can't just use it for anything. That's $1.3 million. We've got some encumbrances, carryover purchase orders of $209,000. We do an inventory count June 30th of every year. We've got inventory in maintenance and warehouse, and even gasoline and diesel, all that's recorded. And the value of our inventory on hand is $478,000. We've got the 3% that we kept in fund balance all year. That was $2.1 million, and we had the unreserved cash fund balance, the rest of it that rolled back to the pot at the end of the fiscal year was a $1.2 million, and those together bring you to your $5.4 million that we ended the year with and will begin the new year with. And I also gave you an estimation of.
Question: Are you predicting an increase or decrease in student count?
Right now, they have us 55 students down in the calculations and what they gave us our money on.
And so that
I
would
think
account
we're
for
going to have more than that.
That would account for the 50 FTE shortfall right here. Is that okay? All right.
Yeah, I've got a reserve in case we're down. Well,
Right.
not so much that number accounts for that, but we never want to be surprised. So I always try to have a little bit set aside in case the numbers come in lower. I expect this year the numbers to come in higher. They have us down in the money that I got to budget out by 55 students. Now, I think this year with the Cambridge program, and we've got some students that are supposedly coming in from even out of district, and of course, the charter schools are going to get some of they gave me their projected numbers, and they're taking more of our students, so it may end up being, a wash overall, but.
There is a family of 8 coming because they visited our church last night.
Nice, good.
8 children.
8 children.
Yes,
Yeah, that's great.
they're coming.
But it is like Rhonda says, I think you're gonna wind up with more than you expect.
That's right, but now that we have recalibration, it's really hard to get a handle on it, because now no student can count more than 1.0, and that means that 1.0 might have to be divided between the school district, between the community college, between VOTEC, if they take a virtual course, where before we would get full funding for the student if they just took one course at the college or if they took one virtual course. And now if they take 7 courses or even 8 if they're industrious and take a couple of online courses, they're going to say if we only have them for 5 periods of that 8, we get 5/8 of the dollar. So it makes it harder to determine what your true FTE is going to be.
Yeah, we've got a lot less, I say a lot, we've got quite a few less kids leaving on account of the Cambridge program.
I think so too.
Yeah.
We've seen the numbers at the schools that have the Cambridge program increasing. And some are coming from our own schools, but some are coming back from home schools, some are coming from the charter schools, and some are coming from outside the district. So this is a good thing. The next handout is an Excel spreadsheet, and I only provide this to you. This is how I start budgeting every year, and I provide it to you so you can see a little bit more detail on the different sources of revenue that come in, and then you'll see breakdowns, even each department's budget. I've got that in there, and different categoricals. The amounts, it shows the amounts proposed to the charter schools. They told me what they expected their FTE to be, and I've already given them their first payments based upon this projected FTE. But this would give you a little bit more detail than what you've got in that one-page spread out, and to keep you from having to dig down through there if you wanted, unless you want to. Also, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the base student allocation. That's the main funding source of the FEFP, because other than that, there's a lot of categoricals and things like that that add to the dollars we get in the FEFP, but the base student allocation is the main piece. And the base student allocation did go up $122.68 over last year. But it's important to note that it's still less than it was at this same point in time of 2007-08 when everything turned around. At the second calculation in 2007-08, we were at $4,163.47. Now, by the end of that year, by the fourth calculation, they had reduced us down to $4,000, so we're over that amount, but we're not taking into account the effects of inflation. So, again, it's up, you know, by a little bit, and every little bit helps. So I'm thankful for that. Base student allocation. And when you look, if you go out on the website and you look at the, this is on DOE's website, I'm sorry, and you look at the FEFP, you'll see that that's the beginning piece of funding for all school districts. And the next is an analysis of our FTE, and that's a full-time equivalent student. That's how many students that we earn funding on. You'll see that we're being funded slightly down over last year. That's that 55 FTE that I talked about. Last year we got funding for $10,691.61. This year they're funding us at $10,636.53. Now this can and will change with the October FTE count, which we won't know the results until December, and with the February counts, and we'll know those in April. You see, if you'll look at the chart, we've been for years in declining enrollment, so that hurts too, because if you have less students, you're getting less money. Your property values go down, you're getting less money. The state doesn't give you as much, you're getting less money, so it's just triple whammies. I know we talked a lot at the last board meeting about the board's budget, so I provided you a handout with the what was left this year, what was put this year into the board's budget. And I added a column over to the right that shows how much was actually spent in all of those categories too. If you'll recall from my presentation at the last meeting, we worked all year on lowering the board's budget. Last year it began with $3.5 million, and as I began working to get things out of the board's budget, we lowered it via budget transfers down to $2.1 million.
You know, of course, that's one person's opinion. I don't see that being a problem, because you never know when you're going to need it, and
right.
You're going to kind of.
Well,
we can always put a freeze on funding anyway.
Right. Well, Mr. Buckles, we still budgeted everything that was there. You know where it is now? It's in finance's budget.
Okay.
So my budget went way up. Y'all's went way down.
I got you.
So I've got the virtual instruction in my budget. I've got property insurance. I've got instructional subs.
Same pair of pants, it's a different pocket.
You got it. Yep, exactly. And I handed you this same printout, except I had dollar amounts on every single item, and said if you saw anything else you wanted me to move out, I'd be happy to. But as it is, we left $720,000 under the board's budget to cover the things under the function 7100. Everything else has been moved out. So Pam and I pretty much budgeted these items very similarly to what was spent last year. And next, really, we just have a little handout that says how much is our budget. Tony started this years and years ago, and it pretty much, we wanted to take out some things that in our mind is double counting, because we took all the budgets first at the top, and you'll see our overall budget is $173 million. How much is our budget? Close to the back. I'm almost done.
All right, I thought you would.
Okay. So you'll see it's $173 million. That matches the amount on that big spreadsheet that was in the newspaper. But there's some things that get counted more than once, like the $3.3 million for the maintenance department. It shows up as revenue in the general fund because we're transferring it in. It shows up as revenue in the capital projects fund because we're bringing the money in from millage, then it shows up as an expense in the capital project funds. So since it's counted as revenue and expense in both funds, we take it out. It's same thing with the property casualty transfers, sort of the way transfers work. They show up in two different funds, so I don't want you to see them twice there. Then I take out the Blue Cross Blue Shield group health insurance because every fund that pays people has those account strips for expenditures within their funds. As payroll is run and that's charged to the funds, the money gets moved over to group insurance. So that's another thing. It's double counted in two funds. I take out all the NEFAC projects and the risk management to show you total of all budgets less. And the reason I take the NEFAC out is because each school district that's a part of NEFAC represents NEFAC within their budgets. You know, what part of NEFAC is their items they have in their own budgets. So since we carry NEFAC's whole budget, I take it out because that money actually belongs to other school districts. So you'll see we're taking the double counting out, we're left with $136 million. And then just for kicks and giggles, I also take out the carryover fund balance in all the funds to show you what the current year new money is, and that brings you down to $97 million in all funds. It's just a little exercise. It's nothing that we need to do or have to do. It's just something we've always done. So, and the last handout I have, and we won't go in detail on this, but there's like a page per fund, and it'll show you a breakdown of what type of revenue is coming in, whether it's federal, state, local, and it'll show you the expenditures in each fund. You know, like in the general fund, it'll show you the percentage that's salary, the percentage that's benefits, purchase services, examples like that. And then in special revenue, all the different grants. You know, to begin with, by the time the year ends, our special revenue funds will probably be double this amount. But the reason it's so small right now, $12 million, most of that is the school food service program because they have their money. But our Title I, our IDEA pre-K, migrant grants, those grants haven't come in yet. We don't have the substantially approved letter yet. We got one of them today. So, you know, sometimes it's over in August before we get those letters, and we don't put those grants in until we receive the award letter from DOE. So you'll see all throughout the year budget revisions where we're bringing in, as we get grant award letters, we bring the money in. And I guess before we go to the roll call vote, I wanted to see if there's any questions that any of you have about the budget, the public, the board members, the superintendent.
Are they the public?
They would be the public, I guess.
I'm going to come by and see you next week because I want you to walk me through why things are double and triple counted in our budget. I appreciate you removing that. It makes it very understandable to us. I'm sure there's a super secret CPA reason for this.
No,
All right, so yeah, you're right. So I just seriously, I want to come by and let you explain it to me.
I certainly will.
Okay.
Okay.
Not really super secret, just super confusing and difficult.
Super
Unless you're a
confusing, but-
CPA, you don't understand
Yeah,
it.
we
It is
have to do
accounting,
it the way,
and they
the
do
government
everything
makes
by the
us.
red book. And
Yeah.
our auditors are here right now, so if you have questions of them, certainly they're
I've got a few
available as
I don't know
well.
enough to ask a
Federal
question.
questions that I'll come by and see you on that, you know.
Anytime.
Right now, you know, some of the things we're having to do, you know, mandated by the federal government makes us do things that some people in some communities aren't happy with. So we've got to find, you know, use it as an opportunity to come up with a better solution. But I'll get by and see you on that. So,
Okay.
Rhonda, if you will you read the motion,
You want me to do that?
Phyllis, you
Phyllis
will
can
do
read it.
that, and then I'll call on the roll call,
Okay.
and we'll check it off. Ms. Jorgensen's not here with us, obviously, on District 5.
Okay.
Four.
4, I'm sorry, Ms. Crawford.
Okay, we
just
need
to-
motions and roll call for the following. Number 1, approve tentative required local effort millage rate of 4.676 mils.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, yay. District 3,
Approve.
5,
Approve.
no, excuse me, 4, I said 5, you're right. Ms. Jorgensen, I'll note one more time, it's not here, but I'm gonna call District 4 from now on, just to make sure that, you know, even though I've said it, that she's not here, we'll do it anyway. Go ahead. Ms. Criswell.
Okay, number 2, approve tentative discretionary millage rate of 0.748 mils.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We'll approve by roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, yay. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 3, approve tentative capital outlay millage rate of 1.50 mils.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We'll go through roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, yay. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 4, approve tentative total millage rate of 6.924 mils, which is 5.81% below the rollback rate.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We'll approve by roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, yay. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 5, approve tentative general fund budget of $90,632,773.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We'll go to roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 6, approve tentative debt service funds budget of $287,007.26.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor. We'll approve through roll call vote. On District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 7, approve tentative capital projects funds budget of $10,950,642.92.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We'll approve by roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Okay, number 8, approve tentative special revenue funds budget of $12,658,499.72.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. We'll approve through roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 9, approve tentative internal service funds budget of $25,829,692.16.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll approve through roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 10, approve tentative trust and agency funds budget of $129,202.77.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. We'll go through roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Number 11, approve tentative enterprise funds budget of $32,583,883.39.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. We'll approve through roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Last one, number 12, approve total district tentative budget in its entirety of $173,071,701.22.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. We'll approve through roll call vote. District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, District 5.
Approve.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I now move that we advise the property appraiser that Tuesday, September 15th, 2015 at 5:05 p.m. in the school board meeting room, 200 Reed Street, Palatka, Florida, a public hearing will be held to consider the final millage rate and the final budget.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? All in favor through roll call vote will be District 1,
Approve.
District 2, approve. District 3,
Approve.
District 4, and District 5.
Approve.
It passes. Thank you. Ms. Odom, you need to get this, advise the property appraiser.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, and
I'll get it done.
that concludes the meeting.